Hey, good morning everybody. Today we're going to sit down here at the workbench and we're going to mount a red dot optic and a magnifier on top of an AR-10 platform. Here we go. Let me get the camera turned around, we'll get started. Alright, I think that's going to work for us. The other day I did a review on a Sig Sauer Romeo 5 optic. And if you watch that video, I referenced the Sig Sauer Romeo 5 XDR. Alright, the XDR is what I'm going to put on this deal here. I'll do a review on it later. In a nutshell, the difference is, instead of having a CR2032 battery on the side, it takes a AAA battery right here on the front. And on the inside, it's got two different options for your reticle. You can either have just a plain red dot, or you can have a 65 MOA circle with the red dot sitting in the center of it. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Let's talk about mounting this stuff. Now, I'm going to start with the magnifier over here. This is a Sig Sauer Juliet 4. The magnifier itself locks into place by use of this clamp here. You'll set it on the rail and you'll simply lock it down with this clamp. And you can hear that little click where that clamp will lock shut. To release the clamp, there's a little locking mechanism there, and then you release the clamp. You adjust the tension of the clamp on the back side. There's a little screw right here below my finger, and you'll tighten that up so that when you clamp this down, it will lock it onto the weapon. When you mount these, you have to be considerate of something called eye relief. Now, let me go ahead and throw this up here. All I'm going to do is, if you can see these little bars here and the bolt that goes through, you're just going to line them up and just fold that booger right over on top like that and lock it down. There we go. Now, you have to be considerate with these red dots here, or I'm sorry, these magnifiers, of your eye relief, okay? Eye relief is the distance between the back of the scope and your eyeball. Where do I need to position my eye so that I have a full field of view in this magnifier? When you talk about magnifying images, then you have to worry about eye relief. So I didn't want to go through the pain of you guys watching me set it on there, shoulder the weapon, take it down, move it one this way, move it one that way, whatever. I just know that on this optic, I have to put it as far to the rear as I can so that I can get my full field of view. Man, that's all there is to mounting the Sig Sauer Juliet 4 magnifier. Nothing to it. Now, what's that leave us with? That leaves us with our Romeo 5 optic. Now, the Romeo 5 is going to mount basically the same way. All I'm going to do is set it where I want it and just make sure I'm lined up with one of the grooves in my picatinny rail, and it sits right down on the weapon, which is kicking my ever-loving butt right now. There we go. Now, you got a couple different options for mounting these. You can either mount it so that it sits right up on your magnifier, which a lot of people do, or you can leave a little bit of daylight in between there, kind of like that. Now, what I'm choosing to do, and I'm going to have to play with it and see what's better, I'm going to leave me a little daylight in between there. Now, as far as optics go, to get the most brightness out of your optics, to take advantage of daylight, you have to be able to get light into your scope. Alright, if I stack these two up on top of each other, right like that, I think I'm limiting some daylight. So I'm just going to slide this thing forward a couple spots and lock it down right here. And I hope that will allow a little more daylight into my optic, or my magnifier. You know, the daylight coming in the front of the red dots, no big deal. But I'm going to try them sort of spaced out just a little bit. Now, once I get that in place, I just take the wrench that comes with this red dot, and I will just tighten it up. Alright, when you go to tighten this, don't get too crazy with it, because this is just a plastic little wrench that they give you. Just make sure you get it snug. So my red dot's on good and tight. My magnifier's on good and tight. We're almost ready to go out and get things sighted in. Before I do that, I want to look through my magnifier and see where my red dot is as far as being centered up in the magnifier. Sometimes you'll set these on there and your red dot will be left or right of center, above or below center, just off center for whatever reason. Well, on this Juliet 4, you can take this sight tool. You've got an elevation adjustment on top and an elevation adjustment on, or a windage adjustment on the far side as you're looking at it. And it doesn't have to be this tool. It can be a screwdriver, it can be a shell casing. It doesn't matter, just whatever floats your boat and blows your skirt up. And you can move, you adjust the lenses in here, which will move this dot to the center of your magnifier. Now, you're not messing with your dot, okay? Your dot's in here. Your point aim, point of impact, you're sighted in up here with your red dot. But when you go playing with that magnifier, all it's doing is just shifting the lenses so that red dot appears to be centered up inside of that optic. Now, that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of it. I would take this thing, if it wasn't raining outside and cold and nasty, I would take this rifle right now. There we go. Can y'all see me again? Yeah, we're getting pretty close. I would go ahead and take this rifle out to the range, and I would get zeroed in and set up. But since it is nasty outside, I'm going to go back upstairs and sit on the couch for a little bit. The only other things that you might consider here, my backup iron sights. My rear sight used to sit back here. Obviously, I've had to move it to get the proper eye relief so that I can see a full field of view in that optic. So I've got to play with that yet to figure out where it's going. But it's a pretty simple deal. The purpose of your magnifier, your red dot optics are a zero magnification, so long shots can be challenging. That's why they've come out with the magnifier. Cool thing about this magnifier is you can take it on and off as simple as loosening that clamp. You can also simply rotate this 90 degrees out of the way so I can see my red dot and not have to use my magnifier. That can come in handy if you're going from, say, an outside environment where you're shooting 200, 300 yards. Maybe you have to step into a building for a little CQB. You just flip that optic out of the way. You've now got unlimited eye relief here. Both eyes can be open. You can threat focus, pick your dot up. Handy little deal. And if you're CQB all the way, you just take that thing off, throw it in your day pack, and you got it whenever you need it. Last thing I want to do is I want to kind of throw a bone out to a guy named Neil Rogers at Heart of Texas Armory. I got a hold of Neil the other day. I stumbled across one of his videos, and he was talking about one of these optics. Well, I contacted him. He is the owner of Heart of Texas Armory, and he gave me a real good deal on some optics. Matter of fact, we did most of our talking on the weekend, so it wasn't like I had to wait till Monday, which Monday would have been closed anyway because of Martin Luther King Day. Old Neil just did a real good job for me. Gave me a good price on things. It was available. Answered a bunch of questions. We bounced 20 emails back and forth. I eventually screwed my order up when I placed it on Sunday, so I shot him an email. He replied a few minutes later, got everything straightened out for me. The post office was closed on Monday because of the federal holiday. He dropped these optics in the mail on Tuesday. They showed up here Thursday. So if you guys are in need of anything, and not just optics, you can go check out his webpage. He's got all kinds of cool, nifty gadgets and things that he deals with. But if you need something, give a thought to Heart of Texas Armory. A guy named Neil Rogers out there again. And I'll put his information down in the comment section or the description section below. And if I'm smart enough, I'll even put a link to his webpage. I don't know if I'm technologically advanced for that or not. But I am beginning to ramble here. So let me go ahead and get things kind of shut down as I look around and see where my remote went. There we go. Do me a favor, if you like this video, reach down and give me a little thumbs up and click subscribe and that notifications bell if you're not already a member of the channel. I usually share these videos on my Facebook page, both my personal one and my Tops Tactical one. If you guys enjoy these videos, I appreciate you liking all those on Facebook, and I appreciate you sharing them. And do me a favor, make sure you hit the like button on the YouTube channel itself. Now, it doesn't turn into money or anything for me. I don't know if maybe I get enough likes, enough views. Some of these big fancy companies might reach out to me and maybe throw a little ammo my way. Might send me something to test and evaluate. Turns into another video for you guys. So anyway, I want you guys to have a great day. I want you to shoot safe, shoot straight, and train often. Bye-bye.